Narcos is a 10-episode crime drama on Netflix that chronicles the story of Pablo Escobar and the DEA agents who went after him. And after watching season 1, I have 5 reasons to give you on why you should also give this show a shot. So let's start it off with number 5. Now, with this being a crime drama, it can obviously be compared to other shows or series such as Traffic and Blow and a lot of the other crime drama things that are out there. And I would say that if you're a fan of crime dramas, you should have already watched this show because this is top tier crime drama material. I would even go as far as calling it Goodfellas Colombia. And it's not just because of the whole drug aspect, but the whole rise to power and building a family and community and then having the betrayals that happen, and even more so, having some technical aspects that are very Scorsese-like, like the long tracking shots, even having some of the color scheme that we see in Goodfellas. So, in other words, if you're a fan of Goodfellas or any of these crime dramas, you should watch this show. At number 4, we have the fact that it's based off of a true story, and many times true stories suffer from two things, either being very on the nose or having the audience already know what's going to happen. And I think that if you're on the camp of knowing the story already or not knowing the story, you are still going to enjoy it because they make it very engaging. It's only 10 episodes, and with this new rise of television, filler isn't the biggest problem. Every one of these episodes is jam-packed and intriguing minute to minute. They also do place a notice before every episode telling you that it is based off true events, but there is a bit of melodrama. They fictionalize some things, and I'm okay with that because they're not claiming it all to be true. There are some aspects of it that change. However, it's good because it makes the show engaging in the way that it's structured, and I would say that it almost feels like a fictionalized story in the way that it keeps you so on the edge of your seat. Having then that real-life footage that they mix in various episodes also reminds you, oh wait, this stuff actually did happen. At number 3, you have the Spanish of the show. And I don't mean that it's a lot of Spanish and it's like 50%. It's not 60%. It is 80% Spanish. And to many people that may be a problem because it's obviously going to be subtitled. But let me put it this way. The Spanish not only makes it feel more authentic, it makes it more engaging because it actually feels like you're watching these people, but more so the subtitles are done very well. If you don't know Spanish, there's no problem because the way that I would compare it to is that episode of season 4 of Breaking Bad where they were by the pool and the whole episode was pretty much done in Spanish, but you're engaged the whole time because the acting and the story is so good. So even if you're intimidated by subtitles or just don't like reading them, know that this is the definition of that one show that you should give a chance to. At number 2, we have the acting on the show, which is phenomenal. You have Wagner Moura, who plays Pablo Escobar, and I'm not saying that he is the next Gus Fring, but I'm saying that this dude has some screen presence and I can't wait to see him in more things and just continue playing Pablo Escobar. There's also Boyd Holbrook, who plays the main DEA agent, who the only thing I can remember this guy being in is Run All Night, the Liam Neeson movie where he played the mobster's son, and he was really annoying, but here he not only plays the narrator but more so the guide into the story that we're seeing of this cartel dynasty. Plus he has some Charlie Hunnam vibes that makes him a bit more likable. You also have Luis Guzman and a bunch of telenovela stars who are in here that make the cast pretty much just all around really great. However, with all the praise, there are still some mistakes and negatives that the show is obviously going to have, so just covering those quickly, as good as the acting is, and it's so good that sometimes you forget that the accents aren't really the best thing, and I like Wagner's portrayal. However, his accent is pretty heavy, and even if you don't know the difference between a Colombian and a Mexican and a Spanish and a Cuban accent, they're different, and his accent is definitely heavy, especially because he's Brazilian, so he had to learn Spanish to be able to do this role. There's also many technical issues here and there, like having skylines with buildings that shouldn't exist yet in the 80s, or having cars that are clearly not in the 80s, and a lot of the events that happen on screen that didn't really happen in real life, and they're altered. For example, one of the big ones being that Steve Murphy's character shouldn't really be around till the end of season 1 and season 2, but they extend his stay. However, overall, the series does its job of being a phenomenal crime drama, and for that you have the number 1 reason to watch, and that's because there's more to come. Season 2 already got renewed. Season 1 ended with this very big climax of having it be, you haven't seen nothing yet. Season 2 is when things are going to go down, and you definitely want to get on it. However, as always, I'm curious your thoughts. If you checked out Narcos Season 1 on Netflix, what did you think about it? Who was your favorite character, the one you found most intriguing, or the most intriguing aspect for you? And if you're looking forward to Season 2. We can discuss anything dealing with this show or anything else that's on Netflix for that matter, since they do a lot of amazing stuff down below in the comments. And until next time, I'll be seeing you guys later.